Hello, and welcome to Global Village Academy Douglas County's Top 10 Frequently Asked Questions by Kindergartners and Kindergarten Parents. I am your host, Stacy Bush, Principal of Global Village Academy, Douglas County. Welcome. Today, as I answer the most frequently asked questions, I'm going to be referring to our website so that I can show you where to find the answers to these questions and many more that you can refer to on your own. So starting with our top 10 questions. At number 10, questions about uniforms. What are our uniforms and how do you buy them? After I go to our website, I will go to two important pull-down menus, Student Life and Parent Resources. Starting out in Student Life, we go to the Uniform tab. In a nutshell, GVA uniforms are to be worn every day unless it is a predetermined free dress day or spirit day. So our GVA uniform consists of a top with the GVA logo and then bottoms that are either khaki, navy blue, or black and made of a dress pant material. For more specifics, please read the dress code there on your left. How do you purchase uniforms? There's several ways that you can purchase uniforms. You can purchase uniforms here by clicking on the Purchase Uniforms tab. You can purchase uniforms through the Flyer app, or you can always do an in-person sale. When you're on the website, you'll see that GVA uniforms can be found here. And you can purchase all different kinds of uniform tops, short sleeves, long sleeves, sweatshirts, hoodies, collared shirts, all kinds of different things can be purchased here that have the GVA logo on them. What you can also purchase here is our GVA spirit wear. Under our Douglas County Spirit Wear, you can click on that tab. And spirit wear are items that can be worn on Fridays with your regular uniform bottom, but just it's something that's just a little bit more casual and a little bit more fun. There's some items for mom and dad in here as well. If you have a child that has a certain kind of shirt, a certain weight or certain feel, you can also purchase those items and then take them to a local embroidery shop and have the shop put on the logo. All of the shops that are listed here already have our logos in stock, and all you have to do is let them know that you need the GVA symbols placed on your shirts. All right, question number 9. What about lunch? How does lunch work for our kindergarten students? Some important things about lunch. First of all, our lunches are divided up by grade levels. Some of the upper grade levels do have combo lunches, but our kindergartners eat just with the kindergarten class. As of now, all the kindergartners are eating lunch together, and students have the opportunity to either bring their lunch from home or they can purchase their lunch at school. Either way. If they're purchasing their lunch at school, you can go to the Menu and Lunch Program tab, and on this tab you can find all the information you need to know about lunch. It tells you a little bit about the contents of lunch. It tells you about the prices for lunch. You can find the lunch menu here, and you can also log into an online payment system called My School Bucks. One of the things I love about My School Bucks is that you can not only reload your child's card, but and access it. Whoops, where did I go? Hold on, I clicked out of something here. There we go. Not only can you access this on your mobile app, you can access this through our Flyer app, and you can reload your child's card online, but you can also track balances and purchases. So you can see exactly what your child is purchasing for lunch. It will also give you low balance alerts and allow you to set up for automatic payments. Pretty cool. All right, question number 8. Does Douglas County have before and after school programs? or before and after school care? And we sure do. We have a group that we work with called Innovation Learning that provides both our before and after school care. Their current flyer for fall can be found right under the before and after school care tab. And here you can see their updated flyer that has all the pricing for the school year. So they do provide care beginning at 6:30 in the morning and going until 6 p.m. in the evening. They also provide care during holidays, during early release days, and those kinds of things. And all the details can be found here. One of the things that I do recommend for every family, even if it's not something that you would typically use, I always recommend signing up for Innovation Learning and taking advantage of the $5 registration fee that's available from August 7th through August 14th. One of the great things about being pre-signed up is if you had a situation where pickup at school is at 3:30 and you get stuck in a meeting and you cannot get out of the meeting, you can call the front office and let them know, hey, I'm running a little bit late today. Can you send Stacy to Innovation Learning? And then they will make sure that your son or daughter gets to Innovation Learning and waits there until you're ready to pick them up. So it's a huge convenience thing for parents. It just lets you not have to worry so much about being on time after school. That's also the same for before school care. If you have an early morning meeting or you have someone else that's helping out within your carpool that needs to get kids to school a little bit early, you can always access after you've been registered. The other thing that we have available after school is we have an after school enrichment program that we call Encore. Encore classes change every quarter and are provided by vendors outside of our school that come in to provide different courses. Everything from chess to robotics to choir to theater to cooking. Just about anything you can think of can be available in Encore. As soon as the Encore classes have been determined, we send out those links to parents so that they can sign up for Encore classes. Those classes do fill up quickly. They're typically offered one day a week after school, and they go and they start at between 3:30 and 3:45 and go till 4:45 each day. You can also kind of layer Encore in Innovation Learning. If there's a class that your student would like to take in Encore, but you don't usually pick them up from Innovation Learning until 5:30, they can go to their Encore class, and then the Encore teacher will drop them off at Innovation Learning to make sure that your child is supervised the whole time that they're on campus. All right, question number 7. How do I know what's going on at GVA? Is there a calendar? There sure is. If you go to Parent Resources and you click on Calendar, we have provided for you 2 different kind of calendars here. The 2021 school calendar shows you in color all of the days of the school year, and they're color coded for you. So they show you the first day of school, the last day of school, any days that we're on vacations. They also indicate days that are half days or international days, where students are picked up by noon each day, and those days when students are not in school but teachers are, for instructional planning or for parent-teacher conferences. So that's an awesome resource. We also have what we call our events calendar. And if you click on the events calendar, this will show you all the different things that we have planned at GVA. Of course, June and July are pretty light months since we don't have kids back in school. But as you can see, beginning August 7th, we have activities for students beginning on site. August 7th is really the kickoff to our school year. That is the day that we have one of our first on-site uniform sales. We also have Meet the Teacher, a big event where students can come and meet their teachers, drop off their school supplies, and parents are able to pick up a lot of information about school and different events and committees and things that are available at school. But you'll see all kinds of dates located here, and then if you click on those dates, they give you more information. So another great resource. Question number 6 at the beginning of the year is always, what about school supplies? Under student life, we go and click on school supplies. We make buying school supplies super easy. One of the things that you can do is you can actually order your school supplies online if you have not already done so. You can click right here where it says order online. Currently, those orders between June 11th and July 18th can be ordered and delivered directly to your home. There is a delivery fee for that, just so that you're aware. If you do want to go out and purchase your students' school supplies, you can see all the grade levels here listed on the left. The thing you do need to remember is that once you click on the supplies, you need to look at 2 supply lists because your student will have 2 different teachers each day. The GVA kindergarten list is the list that all English teachers of kindergarten, that's what they pick up for their English class. Then their other list is dependent on which language they're studying. If they're going to be studying Spanish, we just click on that kindergarten Spanish list and all of the supplies that the Spanish teacher has requested come up there. When delivering those supplies to school, you are going to want to have them separated out by English and by their immersion class so it can be delivered to those teachers individually. If you are ordering your supplies online, those supplies will come in 2 separate boxes, an English box and your immersion box for your convenience. Those school supplies can be brought to school on Meet the Teacher night. They can also be brought the first day of school and dropped off to those teachers. All right, question number 5, and this is a big question, and there's a lot of different resources on the website for you around this one, but it's really that question about how do I help my child with their immersion homework if I don't speak the language? That's a great question. We can go under the language immersion tab and you can find a number of different resources for you. But essentially, in kindergarten, first and second grade, most teachers will send home with the student the homework that they need to complete, but then they'll also provide online those resources in English for the teacher or for the parents to use at home. Also, you can access the Google Classroom and see little recordings of lessons that were done during the day and additional supports that will be provided for you so that you can assist your child. At GVA Douglas County, we do not send home a lot of busy work. So the homework that goes home is typically around reading, which students should do every day in English and in their immersion language. And then if there's any homework that or any work that they didn't complete in class, that may go home to be finished up as well. Beginning this next fall, we're also going to periodically have things that students are going to be doing from home to interact with Google Classroom and get familiar with the technology in the event that we do need to go to remote learning later on in the school year. Question number 4. As a parent, I know that there's a volunteer requirement. How do I volunteer at school? That's a great question. If we go over to the Get Involved tab and click on the volunteer button, there's lots of information here about how to volunteer at school. Remember that each family is asked to contribute 30 hours for the whole year volunteering in some capacity at school. There are volunteer opportunities that take place at home. There are some at school during the day. There's some for particular events, so there's lots of different ways to volunteer. For more information about volunteering, you can email PIC, which is our Parent Involvement Committee, for additional ideas and things that they're looking for. Currently, things that they are signing up teachers to help volunteer with is joining the snow team at school and just making sure that campus is ready for kids in the event of inclement weather. Volunteering to help out during lunchtime and volunteering with hospitality. Teachers will also be asking for classroom volunteers at times when they need them, whether that's supporting with small groups, helping students one-on-one to support learning or assessing them or assessing their progress, and also helping out with different parties and celebratory events at school. So lots of different ways. Just get your game on, and if there are certain things that you are really good at or love to do or have a business around, if you let PIC know, they'll be sure to give you a call when you're needed. Question number 3, we're getting to the top of our list. International days. What are international days, and how do I get involved with them? International days are special opportunities that we have for our kids at GVA to learn more about this big, beautiful world and more about the cultures in other countries. And so if we go to our student life tab, we're going to go over to international days. For international days, the way that they work is that everybody in school gets to learn about the different countries of study, and they will learn about their arts, their culture, their music. But then for each international day, specific classes will be signing up to get more in depth and to learn at a more deep level about that country and all the things that make that country special. Those classes will put together performances and they will perform for the whole school and celebrate their culture, their economic systems, their music, their poetry, all different kinds of things about their country. And usually they also provide us with a little snack so that we can taste the country. This year, our international days are going to be, let me show you our list. This is hot off the presses. In September, will be Dominican Republic. We'll be celebrating Greece in November. In December, we're going to do celebrations around the world where grade levels in classrooms actually adopt different celebrations, not necessarily Christmas related, but all different kinds of celebrations so we can learn how other countries celebrate different events. In January, we'll be celebrating Vietnam. February, Madagascar. April, Australia, and May, American Hoedown. American Hoedown will be another one of those events where every class will actually put together a performance. So we're really excited about that. We invite parents to attend those assemblies, whether their children are the performing group or not. Free dress is always allowed on international days, so kids get kind of excited about that. We do always encourage students to dress in culturally based clothing, and those days are always a half day. So students attend on international days just until noon, and then after that, teachers have a half day of professional development. So more information about international days will be forthcoming, but we certainly encourage you to read this page and then also go to our Global Village Academy Douglas County Facebook page and see some of the films of international days past. That'll give you a much better idea than I can explain. All right, question number 2. So the second most asked question about kindergarten is, what do students learn in kindergarten? You know, kindergarten today is not like the kindergarten of old, where we would go to school, there would still be nap time, and that really it was just about learning how to socialize and start to get the feel of school. Kindergarten is very much an academic based grade level that has standards in all of the areas: reading, writing, communicating, math, science, physical education, art, all of the core areas and accompanying special areas. There are standards for our kindergartners. And just to give you an idea of what that looks like, you can actually go to the Colorado Department of Education, the CDE website, and you can look at all of the standards for kindergarten and what they'll be covering this year. We are driven by the Colorado State standards and the Common Core standards on our English side. And then our students on our world language side or in our immersion side our teachers are guided by the ACTFL standards. And so to give you an idea, just even on the English side of what those grade level expectations, and this is just for reading, writing, and communicating, these are the expectations that our students will be addressing throughout the school year. So you can see that there is a variety of levels of questioning, of inquiry. Students will be using a variety of methods in which to communicate their learning, but this is absolutely an academically rich grade level for us that really sets the foundation for the rest of their years here at GVA. So they learn how to read, how to write, how to communicate, how to listen. They learn content in the area of social studies and math. They have specials in the area of physical education, STEM, which is our science, engineering, technology, and math, and art. And in addition to all of those things, they learn how to do school with our AVID curriculum. And they also learn all of those soft skills about how to become a productive and delightful member of our school community. So there's lots of learning that goes on in kindergarten. So what is our most asked question in kindergarten? Well, that one was easy. Our number one question that is always asked is, how important is it for our child to be in attendance on time at school every day when they're kindergarten students? And let me tell you, it is critically important. As I've just shared, our kindergarten students are learning lots of stuff on the English side and on the immersion side. And if you think that on each side of the day, they only have about 3.5 hours. And so every minute is full of learning and of activity that are learning based. So it is critically important that your child is at school and is on time to school every day. If you think about it, in the course of the day, if your student were to miss, maybe they're late, you live far away or something to that, and they're that effect, and they're 10 minutes late every day, over the course of a week, that's 50 minutes, that's an hour's worth of instruction that they're missing. And that is really critical instruction. And not only are they missing instruction, but they're also missing a lot of the culture and the climate building that goes on in classes every day, where they're learning how to do school, they're learning how to be that good community member, and they don't really have the opportunity to settle into class if they're either late every day or if they're not consistently attending. So those things are very, very important to us, being at school every day and on time to school. In the event that your student does need to be absent, we ask that you always let the front office know by using the attendance line. And we'll provide you on the first day of school a magnet that has all of the important phone numbers and email addresses for GVA. But we ask that you always let our attendance line know if your child is going to be absent and what the reason is behind their absence. If you are planning on going on vacation or missing more than 2 or 3 days in a row, we ask that you complete an intent to be, and I think it's an extended absence form. And that just gives the front office and also the teachers a heads up that you're going to be out of the building for a bit. And it also gives the teachers an opportunity to provide you with work so that the student can be doing that either while they're away or before they go. And that way they don't have so much to catch up on when they end up being or coming back, returning from an extended absence. If you are bringing your child into school late, we ask that you do check them in personally in at the front office so we can again have an adult-to-adult exchange. And we'll go over more of these processes and procedures on our information times as we approach the beginning of school. Well, I hope that you have found this Q&A helpful, and also have really just gotten to see what a huge resource our GVA website is. And it has all of the answers to the questions that you could possibly have. If there's anything that you're thinking, any questions that you have, and you can't find the answer on the website, please email me. Let me know what your questions are, and I'll be happy to reach back out to you. As you know, right now, with our planning, we are planning on returning to in-person school in August, but we are also keeping in mind all the recommendations and the mandates that are made by the Colorado Department of Education, the Colorado the CDC, the Colorado Department of Disease Control, Tri-County Health, Douglas County. We're following all of the recommendations, but our hope is to return to in-person in the fall. And just as soon as we have a solid plan to articulate to you, we will communicate that to you via newsletters and also via Messenger. So if you haven't signed up for your newsletter, please make sure to do so. If you haven't signed up for the Flyer app, another great way that we communicate. So make sure you're in the loop. But I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you've been enjoying all of our informational sessions that we are putting out for our incoming kindies every Tuesday from now until school starts. And just know that we look forward to seeing you and meeting you. And we are so happy that you're a part of our GVA family. Have a great rest of your summer. Take care.